Hello, Mujeres. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Mujeres de Pilar. It's me, Pilar, your host. I am so excited to be back. I went on a little vacation, or just MIA actually, and I am now back and recording episode 8. I'm really excited. Today's episode doesn't necessarily have a specific theme. It's just kind of me checking back in with you guys and filling you in on what's been going on with me personally, and some new ideas and changes for the podcast. If you are listening or you normally listen on YouTube, then you see that you no longer have a still image, but now you have me, a video. I have been wanting to record the podcast on video, but I've just been straying away from it. One, because I am not a videographer, okay? I do not have the talent that videographers have, and or the equipment to really make a good video. And this, because now I'm looking at myself as I'm recording, but no, also because I was kind of insecure and a little self-conscious about recording a video. This sounds very I don't know what word to use. And I'm getting nervous with you guys watching me. This sounds very vain, but I like my voice. I love the sound of my voice, and that's super vain. But I don't know. I was nervous for you guys to actually see me, but I think that I pushed myself to do it so that way I could get better at it. I can push myself to get the equipment that I need to get and just start focusing on, working on doing videos so you guys have something to look at while you listen. So I'm excited. And the last couple weeks have just been really crazy for us. We moved into a new apartment, which I'm really excited about. I hadn't really talked about or shared any information about us moving. I really wanted to make sure that it was set in stone and that it was actually going to happen before I talked about it. So we are now finally in our new apartment. There's so much space, and it's just, I'm so excited to decorate and make it look like our home. And it's been a lot because I forgot what moving felt like. We hadn't moved in quite some time. So our last place was a studio that originally I had looked at for me to live in by myself, but when me and Manny decided to get back together, we moved in there together, and I don't think our intention was to ever stay there as long as we ended up staying there. But I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss being there because it was definitely very comfortable, very clean. The lady who we were renting from was super sweet. She was this older Colombian lady, and I just love her. She had all kinds of plants and avocado tree and a mango tree and berries, and I don't know, the whole environment was just very peaceful. I'm really gonna miss that. But I am really excited to be in this new place, and I think it's a great transition for our relationship to just, continue to grow and flourish. I think we were kind of stuck, and just really stuck in our older apartment. So this is really exciting. And now that we are in a new apartment, we get to get my dog back, Frida. I'm such a bad dog mom because not enough people know that I actually have a dog. But Frida, my little baby, is going to be coming back. She's been spending some time in Arizona with her Nana and Tata, and now I get to have her back. Which I feel is going to be hard for me and hard for them and hard for Frida because she's so used to being with them. So we'll see how that goes. But while I was away, I know that a lot has been going on in the news. A lot has been going on social media. And I feel like that's actually why I needed to take a break, was because I was just getting very overwhelmed with the amount of information that was coming out on social media, coming out on the news. And there were so many different topics that I felt the pressure to learn about and to report on. And I just didn't have all of the right information to do so. So I kind of felt helpless. And so just like a little recap of some things. This is not everything, but some things that have really just been heavy on my heart. So the explosion in Beirut, 200 people were killed, at least 5,000 people were injured, and that sat very heavy with me. I was really praying for the people of Beirut during that time. And then something else that's really heavy to talk about and very emotional to talk about, human trafficking, sex trafficking, and all of these missing children from ICE, and nobody knows where they are. There's just so many different levels to this topic to talk about. The people who are being accused of having involvement, some of them being politicians, some of them being public figures, movie stars, businesses having involvement in sex trafficking. It's just very overwhelming, I think, because what you think you knew or what you thought you knew for all these years is not really what it is, and it's very overwhelming. It's a very scary world to be in right now, and there's just so much that we need to educate ourselves on now. I haven't spoken on the topic, not because I do not think it's important and not because it does not have my attention. In reality, it has a lot of my attention, but I am really just trying to educate myself more on the topic before I start to give and share information. So something that I want to challenge, my listeners, if you have information that you think would be useful for me, I would really appreciate it. I would like to do an episode where we just educate our listeners on sex trafficking, what's happening. And it's happening all over the world, but it's happening here in our home in the United States, in Los Angeles, in Arizona, two places that are very close to my heart. And we need to be aware, and we need to not be blinded. And I think for so many years, maybe we've allowed this to go on right underneath our noses and we haven't done anything, but we really need to do something. And so our involvement is important. Talking about it is important, and it is uncomfortable and it is scary to think of, but it definitely deserves our time and attention. So anybody listening who has information that they feel would be beneficial for me to share with my listeners or my followers, I'd really appreciate it. And then something else on social media that caught my attention during my hiatus was the black and white photo challenge on Instagram and Facebook, and I think other forms of social media, but I have Instagram and Facebook. So as a way to show women empowerment and solidarity, women were nominating each other to take part in this black and white photo challenge. And it's basically you just nominate somebody and they post a photo of themselves in a black and white image. And I don't think enough of us knew where this challenge originated from or the history behind it. So some of us were taking part in it not knowing all of the information. And I'm saying us because I include myself in that. And I was a little skeptical too when I got nominated. While I appreciated being nominated, I was a little skeptical about posting an image because I've been kind of cautious about posting selfies of myself anyway, just because I feel like there's so many other things going on in the world. Nobody really wants to see a picture of me right now. Over the last few weeks, I have gotten comfortable to like share more images of like what I'm doing or of myself. But during this time, I remember thinking like nobody wants to see an image of me right now when there's so many other things going on in the world. The Black Lives Matter movement, I believe other topics are starting to trend more, but we need to remember that this is a movement that is still taking place. There is still a lot of work that needs to be done. And so I was kind of skeptical about posting an image, but I did. And I nominated some women, and one of the women that I nominated, a very good friend of mine, reached back out to me and shared this information with me. So the Black and White Photo Challenge was originated by Turkish women who were being brutally murdered and killed in large quantities in their country. And what was happening is a lot of these women are being abused, and they're being killed, and in large numbers, and nobody's doing anything about it. And so women are waking up to see these black and white images of women who have passed away. And I just think it's very important that we all know where this started from. And I'm talking about it so late in the game because, well, I've been gone, and I just want to recap some of the things that have been going on. And so it just made me think like how quick we are to participate in these challenges, or to share a selfie, or to get involved in things that we don't know 100% about. So remember, educating ourselves is the most important thing that we could possibly do for ourselves and for others. And not just always jumping on the bandwagon, even though sometimes, and I think it was meant out of goodness. I don't think that anybody was doing it to be ill, or to disregard the where this came from, where it started from. Sorry, I'm like at a loss for words. But I think that we just didn't have all the information. So very important right now. It's very overwhelming that, we really need to really look into everything that we're doing. I have been really researching the companies that I'm purchasing from, and really trying to make sure that I am putting my money into companies that are doing good, and just really researching them, because we just really don't know right now. I think this year really is 2020, the year of vision, meaning we are just seeing our world in a whole different perspective. We were kind of blinded before, and now we are really being given the opportunity to see what the world is really like. And that is a lot of responsibility, as well as a lot of stress that comes with it. And so for me, I needed to take a little bit of a break. These are just some subjects that I noticed, and there's a lot more that we could talk about, but there was just so much going on that after I released my last episode, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. Personally, we were moving, we were packing. I was really exhausted from work. Those of you who have been listening, or those of you who know me, know I work a full-time job, and my full-time job is really full-time, at least 40 hours or more. And I was just kind of overwhelmed personally, and then wanting to be involved and wanting to contribute to these causes the best that I can, to the best of my capability. And I just think I started getting my hands involved in so much, and trying to be involved in everything, and not really focusing on one thing or anything fully. So I saw myself doing this, and I was like, okay, you need to retreat. I wasn't sleeping. I was getting maybe 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night, and then getting up and going to work, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, depending on the day. And then I was coming home, and we were moving and unpacking, and I think me and my boyfriend do our best, or we try our best to have a very fair partnership, as far as both of us contributing to the household, both of us contributing to the food. But I think during this move, in this transition, like, your body knows that things are changing. And so I think that both of us have just really been off lately. So my relationship also needed some tending to. And I needed some tending to, something that I usually focus on. And I know when I'm really loving on myself is when, like, I take good care of my skin. My skin regimen is, like, very important to me, and doing masks and exfoliating and moisturizing and cleansing, like, those are things that are very important to me. And I noticed that I started skipping some of my routines, some of my patterns, and I was just exhausted that I didn't even want to do those things. And so I'm like, okay, something's wrong with you. You are not loving on yourself like you normally do. And so I just needed to pull back. And so during these few weeks, that's what I've been doing. I just been recapping, what is it that I want to do with this podcast? What is it that I want to do personally, as far as work? I'm sorry, guys, that are watching. I just keep playing with my hair. I don't know what to do. I'm getting used to this. Okay, sorry. Those of you listening, sorry. I know you guys aren't watching, but I just keep touching my hair, and all my viewers and listeners are seeing this. But I need to be more professional, I know. But anyways, I was thinking, what do you want, Pilar? Okay, what's going to ultimately make you happy overall? And what is going to get you out of this funk that you're in right now? And is it really just the worldly things that are making you respond this way? Or what personally do you need to work on to get to a better place? So I really sat back and I started thinking, and my friend gave me a really good book to read. So I started focusing on reading. And I started focusing again on my skincare regimen and just really loving on my skin. And this sounds crazy, but I'll probably do an episode, or maybe I'll do like an Instagram live showing you guys my skincare routine. Not because any of you have asked for it, but because it's something that I really love to do. And so when I wash my face with like a lot of intention behind it, to really just wipe away the negativity of my day, to really just let go of all the negative toxins and whatever bad encounters I had. I really wash my face with intention to just release all of that nastiness. So I just really started making sure that I was washing my face with intention. I started to put our house together, me and my boyfriend, and then we started spending a lot more time at the beach, which we had been doing, but we stopped for a while because we were moving and because we had to pack and because we had grown-up responsibilities. So we got back into that routine and we're like, okay, let's go to the beach. It's something we love to do. And this summer, we have really just been exploring different beaches in different areas of California. We've been living out here 7 years now, but there's still so much that we haven't seen. So we've really made it a mission, and we've really made it a goal to see as many different beaches and to lay in as many different sands this summer as possible. So that's something that we started focusing on again. And then we just started, building our apartment and building our goals, what furniture we want to buy, what decorations we want to have. And it's something that we can work on together. It takes a lot of compromise, but it's something we can work on together and just really focus on. And it's a near future goal, right? It's a short-term goal. So that has been productive for us. And besides that, I actually enrolled back into school. So those of you who have been following the podcast, or those of you who know me personally, know that I have yet to graduate from college. And originally I was going to the performing arts school, and then later on in life I went back to school and I was studying for education, and I just haven't finished. And I don't know if it's just me being sidetracked or just school not being for me. But recently, especially with everything going on in the world, politically especially, I just have been very inspired to go back and graduate and finish my degree. So I am going back and I am going to be getting my degree in journalism. And my mom is probably like, I told you so. You could have saved me a lot of money. But I'm actually still going to be studying theater and music because that is definitely where my heart and my passion lies. And as an artist and as a creator, I want to be able to continue to grow in both of those fields. So I'm going to continue to take classes. Oh yeah, I can't even talk. Classes come this September for music and for theater. But I am going to be starting school next week, and I'm going to be finishing with my degree in journalism. So I'm really excited for that. And y'all pray for me, send me good energy, good vibes, that it goes well. And this is just something that I need to tackle and something that I need to finish, because like I said, I sat back and I reflected and I said, what is it that you really want? Well, I really want my college degree. And, I understand that college is not for everybody, and college, at some point in my life has not been for me. But right now in my life, it's really what I want to do, and it's what I want to succeed in, and what I want to see myself accomplish. It's my big long-term goal. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And, okay, one of the mujeres, okay, who follows Mujeres de Pilar, and not only is she a follower, she's a really good friend of mine, okay? She posted, sorry for all the background sound. Also, guys, really quickly, sorry if you hear like a lot of echo. We are in our new apartment. I'm getting used to recording in this space. So it's all new to me, and it's going to take me some time to get used to. But anyways, a really close friend of mine posted on her Instagram story. She just posted like a little caption, and it was basically talking about this organization called Nosotros organization. Now, basically, Nosotros is an organization for Latinx performers, writers, actors, actresses, and so they're doing this competition for actors, and you have to send in a video, a self-tape of yourself performing 2 monologues, and the monologues that you're going to be performing are going to be from Latinx writers, and they put these monologues together. So you'll be performing them. If you get accepted, then you go to the next challenge competition, which will be in October. So I have to submit my video by September the 4th. So my goal is to do it before the end of August. So that is what I'm working on right now, and I'm really excited. I hope you guys send me all your good energy, all your good vibes. Like I've mentioned, acting and music are definitely where my heart stands. I think that for a long time, as you guys continue to listen to the podcast, you'll learn about some of the challenges that I've been faced with, and most of them are personal. Most of them are because of me. Not challenges given to me by anybody else, just personal challenges that I needed to go through to get to a place where I felt confident. And so as soon as I saw the ad for this competition, I was like, oh, I have to do this. This is what I have to do. I'm going to win. I'm already the winner. I'm already speaking it into existence. So hopefully that goes really well. And if not, then I'm just going to be happy that I at least did it. So that's just a lot of things that are happening for me. And just to recap, these last 7 videos have been, they're not videos, these last 7 episodes have been so much fun to record. They've been very educational for me, and I believe for my listeners. And I want to talk about something that happened to me just today. So today I was recording for the podcast, and I had a meeting with another podcasting team. So this podcast reached out to me maybe about a week ago. I started following them, I don't really remember when, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Anyways, they are a new podcast. They hit the floor running. Their podcast is amazing. I'm not going to share their name with you yet because I kind of want it to be a surprise, and I kind of want us to continue to collaborate before I share who they are. But I'm really excited, and I just want to I'm going to brag a little bit because they reached out to me, and I'm so humbled by the words that we were able to share. I didn't get to speak with both of the hosts. I only was able to speak with one. But he made me feel so special. And it made me feel like, okay, what we are doing here on Mujeres de Pilar is important. Other people are noticing it. Other people think it's important. Keep going. Even when you are discouraged, even when you are having tough times, keep going. So my promise to you, mujeres, is that I am going to be consistent because I've been thinking about it. This podcast is 3 months old or 3 months young, however you look at it. And this is my 8th episode, but really I could have already released more episodes, but I haven't been consistent. So I'm challenging myself to be more consistent and to keep pushing even when I feel discouraged and when I have personal things going on in my life. I want you guys to know that you guys are always going to be a priority, and I'm going to keep pushing because I think the content that we're creating is important. It's important for not only women. I know a lot of people think this is a woman podcast, and it's for women, definitely. Like, my goal in life is to create content and to create space for women because that's who I'm passionate about, and the LGBTQ community. But this podcast is not just for women. Men can learn from this podcast as well. And so what we're doing here is very important. I'm very passionate about it, and I'm going to keep going. So getting this video chat and hearing the things that this podcast had to say made me feel like, okay, I'm super encouraged. I'm super inspired. I can't wait to get to work with them and learn from them and give them anything that they need to be successful as well. Because one of the hosts said it. He was like, I think it's really important for us indie podcasters to really stick together and really just uplift each other. And I am all about uplifting the women who come on my episodes, but I really look forward to giving that support and that love and motivation towards people who have the same goal as me and watching all of us succeed together. So, I just want to remind you guys that I know that there's a lot going on in the world. I got overwhelmed by all of the media that is being shown and some of the stuff that isn't being shown that should be shown because, they regulate it. But I want to encourage you guys to really just keep going, all right? Continue to be kind, loving people, show compassion in this world, and really, if you have a goal, whether it's a short-term goal, I can't talk today, guys, whether it's a short-term goal or a long-term goal, I really just want to motivate you guys to keep pushing through. Today's episode is very short and sweet, very just to the point. I wanted you guys to know why I went missing. I wanted you to know some of the things that have been on my mind, and if you guys have any information on these topics, give them to me, comment them, message them to me. I'd love all the feedback that you guys can share. But I just really want to encourage you guys to keep going. Whatever that goal is, keep going towards it. It's yours. It's already yours. You've already gotten it, right? It takes a lot of hard work, right? It can't just be manifesting. It has to be a lot of hard work too. But, we're going to get there. And I'm excited to be on the journey with you and to get there with you. One more thing before we end this episode, and I think on our next episode I need to talk about it, or I need to make an episode specifically for it. I want to know your views on Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's new single WAP. I think this is totally off topic for everything else we were talking about, but I am all about this song. Okay, I think that we are sexualized. We are talked about in so many different songs, made, written, sung, rapped about by men. And I am all for these women being comfortable, talking about their sexuality, talking about their sexual pleasures, and being blunt about it. And so I want to know your opinions. I want to know what you think. And I want to know what you think about us having an episode where we talk about these things. I know that maybe the rest of the world, or just, sorry guys, sorry people, I hit the mic. I know that maybe it's not normalized by the rest of the world, but maybe it needs to be. And yeah, I just want to know your thoughts on it. I hope you guys are doing good, mujeres. I love you. Stay strong, stay safe, stay smart. All right. And please make sure that you are taking care of your mental health as well as your physical health. Do what you need to do. Drink water, take your vitamins, look at what you're consuming. And I'm not going to pretend to be the healthiest person out there, but I really am doing my best to make efforts to look into what am I feeding my mind, what am I feeding my body, and what am I feeding my soul. I hope you guys are doing great. I love you. Make sure to tune in next week for another episode of Mujeres de Pilar.